Hello, Willis College friends. Many instructors have been wondering about how to deliver content into Moodle, in particular tests, quizzes, final exams. Some have expressed concerns that students may feel uncomfortable doing those things in a new format of multiple choice Q&A inside the Moodle environment and would like to have something as close to the written exam that they used to do. So this will show you how to accomplish it. Uh, for example here, this is a PDF that I've already created, and I've redacted some of the information here so that you couldn't see who it was and what the questions were. That's why it looks odd. But it involves opening up the PDF in Adobe Reader, and there are other features in here, for example, and there's one here called Fill and Sign. If you use Fill and Sign, it will assume that things that look like input fields are input fields. For example, student name, I'll show you in a bit. And you can actually double click in there and enter in information. For things that didn't get readily recognized as input fields, what I did was I added a text box, a blank one, next to the question. So then when I actually did generate the PDF from the Word doc, and I'll show you the Word doc in a bit, I suddenly had an input box. So I can go here and answer and say the answer here is B and C. It involves two clicking in the box to get it to pay attention. So you can scroll down, answer all the questions. Same thing with these. So you have to make all those true and false. It recognized that these lines were an input area, so it didn't do anything else. So your student can type a T. They could even type the word false if they felt like it. Things are small because I'm zoomed out, but you get the idea. This looks odd because I redacted the questions. Same thing here. This was somebody's match terms to statements. It already recognized that that was an input area. So double click and you go B. And for lines like this, it's automatically recognized as being input. So students could provide answers to long questions by filling in each line at a time. Etc., etc. Then when they're done, they need to save this. So they would save it to wherever they want, choose a different folder, maybe I'll save it to my desktop. Or they could perhaps add their name to it. Now I'll show you later on inside Moodle how to use an assignment submission gadget, and therefore they don't have to rename the file if they don't want to, because all their submissions will be mapped to them. But they could do this, and they could save it, and now there's a copy of this quiz that has all the answers filled into it. And if you don't believe me, I can go and open it and find my desktop. I've got so many things going on here. Sample quiz redacted Bob. Sorry about the noise. I thought I had all the sound generating things removed. And here was my copy that I'd already answered the various things into. This window may not be displayed in small icons like this. So for example, if I shut this down and go back and open it up again, this time I had it in my downloads, and I'll sort by date so I can find it more easily. In theory, guess not. Scroll, look by name. It's called sample, wasn't it? There we go. Sample quiz redacted PDF. Right. Notice how it's got large entries on the right hand side. So your students may see it in that form, not with the little icons, but it's the same kind of thing. If they scroll down and find the fill and sign feature, I apologize that it bounced on us, fill and sign, then they'll see this pop up and said, what are you going to do? They're going to choose fill and sign, and then we're back where we were before. Also, they can zoom out. And there's the blank one. Now, let me show you what I had to do to the Word document to make this happen. Here is the Word document. Again, I redacted this. So I didn't have to change this at all because when I saved this as a PDF, and that will be your finishing move here in Word, it automatically recognized that as being somewhere that input might be. If you want to see, do an experiment to see how much of your existing format would be recognized as input fields, you could do a save as PDF, go open it up in Adobe Acrobat Reader, check and see which ones, I got for free as input, and then go back and do some legwork. So again, for example, I went to Insert and I went to Text Box and I made it a simple text box. This thing will be way too big for our purposes. Wherever it gets dropped, I don't want it there. I'm trying to move it. Should have left it bigger when I wanted to move it. But I moved it. Sometimes you got to bounce this on the bottom of the page to get it to go, but you get the idea. And say I moved it here. Now pay attention to where it drops, because if it drops too close to your questions and answers, it might indent them over. That's why I've got these guys all living here. Once you've made one of them, you can get it selected, right click, say copy, right, say paste, and now you've got another one. And you can move it along to where you want it. And you can also resize these things, which I didn't intend to do. So I'm going to resize this to make it easier for me to move. So you can do that kind of effort, putting in your input boxes. Again, I need to do it for each of these. All these true falses were fine. All these blanks were also fine when I generated the PDF. And as I showed you before, these were already changed to input fields. So the key thing is, wherever you don't happen to get an input field automatically detected when you do a save as PDF, you come back and do things such as add these text boxes so that you can do it. Okay? I'm not going to save this because this looks like a mess, so don't save. So the key point for this is that when students open up this PDF, they have to open it up inside of Adobe Reader. If it gets rendered into a browser directly, then the input fields won't work. So therefore your students need to have Adobe Reader installed. I'm going to pause this video for now, and I will make a new one, and that new one will show you how to set up your Moodle environment to accommodate this.